Good morning, good noon, good evening, whatever time and place you're listening to us from, straight from the 909. It's Mark, Ali, myself, Isaiah, and together that's hip hop. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to hit the notification bell, like, and subscribe. I wanted to throw him a curveball. So
the express version. Hey, welcome to the Cliff Notes version of That's Hip Hop.
The speed remix with featuring Twista.
We're covering Twista's album.
Yeah. Today we're discussing Jeru the Damaja. Pivotal figure in 90s hip-hop. It's renowned for his thought-provoking lyrics and commanding delivery. His style features intricate rhymes, complex metaphors, and a distinctive voice that, combined with DJ Premier's iconic boom-bap, it makes for a powerful experience.
Yeah, boom-bap personified.
Yeah. I just always remember seeing Jeru's name, like, when you're finding music online, I would see his name, and it was very, intriguing, who's Jeru.
Yeah.
It and then the Damaja added onto that, even makes it more intriguing, like, who's this guy? I guess because when he came out with during a time when there was so much iconic albums dropping. Mm-hmm. You're talking about like Illmatic, Ready to Die. I mean, countless others dropping that same year. I feel like it was a very competitive time, and it was just in the mix of just so much artists. I think even Met the Cal dropped.
Yeah, a little bit after. This is a little bit after 36 Chambers dropped too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But I mean, listening to Jeru, like, it's really cool because he's one of those MCs I feel like that can easily get overlooked. Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
Or not mentioned in the ring as much, even though he has all the skill, all the talent, all of it's there. Like, all the skills that we have talked about, it's there. But it's just interesting that, like, somebody like Jeru can be kind of lost in the mix a bit. Similarly to OC, for example.
Yeah,
OC. One of those MCs that just kind of get lost in the mix a bit.
Mike Geronimo around this time too.
Yeah. But nonetheless, Mark chose this album. We're covering the album The Sun Rises in the East, released May 24th, 1994 on Payday Records. It was produced by DJ Premier, legendary producer.
A lot needs to be said there.
Yeah, you don't have to say much there. The album features fellow Gangstar Foundation member Afu Ra. Melody Maker named this album A Bloody Essential. A Bloody Essential.
So Bloody Essential, Mike.
Calling it hypnotic and chilling as a blues party on Pluto. Another one said it was a step forward for hip hop. That's amazing. NME said that Jeru is more original than most rappers. Interesting.
Factual.
While the source remarked that the music both contrasts and complements his disjointed flow and deep poetical lyricism. Very descriptive on his style. The album peaked at number 36 on U.S. Billboard 200, 5 on U.S. top R&B hip-hop albums. Singles on this were Come Clean, The Original, and You Can't Stop the Prophet. The length on this album is 39 minutes and 33 seconds. Pretty sweet spot.
That's a great, easy listen.
Yeah. Mark chose this album today for us to cover. I want to ask you, Mark, what made you choose this album today, or Jeru for us to cover today? What made that decision happen?
I wanted to crack this one in the rotation rather early because I don't think it'd be a better time I don't think there would have been a better time to do it. I enjoy his style. I enjoy listening to Jeru's style for sure because it's funny that Premier's around here too because his style is so befitting of Premier's beats.
Oh yeah.
And Premier gives him like this big playground to play with in terms of the instrumentals and all that. And I've always listened to his style, and he makes it easy to write rhymes because you listen to it and you're like, okay, cool. I can take a bunch of bits and pieces from him and actually try to find my own unique take on this.
Yeah.
And it's funny you mentioned that the tidbits that you mentioned in the intro because this gentleman mentions the fact of knowledge of self. These are attributes from the 5% Nation, and that's such a key lyric that you have to hear from him, because the gentleman, like Jeru, does not care. Like, this is the album of him expressing himself musically, and if you guys just want to tune in and listen in, that's what you're gonna do. Mm-hmm. You know, he's not trying to put something on. Mm-mm. This is the most
authentic.
This is a very authentic approach from him, and I've always liked that about certain albums. And that's because, you know, down to the core of me, yeah, like I've always looked for MCs like that, because I'm not like when I was rapping, I was not atypical anything. I was just a nerd that liked video games and history. So when I was rapping, I was like, okay, let me find my unique identity, but I'm going to do it authentically. And so that's why a lot of artists like Gangstar, Tribe Called Quest, and even like Black Moon, I've always liked them.
I'm surprised we haven't covered Black Moon yet, because he's been talking about Black Moon for the last couple weeks.
And it's very befitting that we're covering Jeru the Damaja, because he's just one of those guys that are on top of the summit of, like, you know, that rapper, oh man, you know who's hard? Like, he's always on those topics of, like, if you know hip hop, you know hip hop. Everyone's tossing around names, and then when they toss around Jeru the Damaja, you're like, oh, okay, you're valid.
Oh yeah,
you know the game, you know hip hop.
That's a if you know, you know.
Yeah,
kind of MC
how was it for you, Ali? Did you hear Jeru before? Or was
well,
this the first time?
So this is the first time I actually dove into a full length album of his. But as far as like, I was been made aware for many years. I actually first saw his name. One of my homies in high school, on his backpack, he had names of all his favorite MCs and groups.
Oh, that's pretty dope.
And he just had them all written on his backpack. And one name that I never heard of, but just seemed like a dope name, was Jeru the Damaja. I'm like, who the hell is that?
Yeah. It looks like almost like Dr. Jeru or
like
something.
It's like a legit
like he's an anime character.
It's such a character. I think Jeru is actually his middle name, I think.
Yes.
That's crazy.
So, but when I saw that name, I'm like, yo, that sounds like a villain, or it could be a hero, or just sound like some character. So that was the first time I heard his name. But then, as far as like hearing about him and really checking in, you know, who he is as an artist, I saw DJ Premier. He was I think he was on Genius actually, and he was going through different tracks of his, iconic records of his, and then he was bringing up they brought up "Kick in the Door" by Biggie, and on that song, which I didn't know at the time, but Biggie was taking shots at Jeru the Damaja on that song. There's a specific line. He said something like, he was actually like talking to Premier. He was like, what did he say? He said, I don't see why you run with them. I think they got come in them because they nothing but dicks, or something like that. I forget. That's something like that. Those were the rhymes. But basically, he was throwing a shot at Premier for even running with Jeru, because Jeru had thrown shots at Biggie on the song, Biggie and Puff on the song, basically going at their style. So when I heard Premier bring up that story, I had to go back and listen to that song. I said, okay, if Big threw a shot on him here, let me see what provoked it. Yeah. So then I'm listening to him, Jeru going at him. I'm like, okay, hey, this is hard. It was on the song One Day. And I'm like, okay, this dude is not. First of all, if to throw a shot at Biggie, you better be nice.
Right.
And that's number one. And for him to do that, and Premier just kind of let it go, because he was like,
Premier's all like, hey man, like, I got no beef with this, man. I just make beats.
He said I looked at it as fair game. I made a beat.
I just produced, man.
I made a beat. He disses him, so I'm making a beat. He decides to throw a shot back. I'm like, I felt it was fair game. It was a shot for a shot. It didn't get crazy. We eventually squashed it before he passed, but he was like, so when I heard that story, that made me more intrigued by him. I'm like, wow, okay, somebody could, got to throw a shot at Biggie. You guys, you better be nice. So then when I dove into this album, I was like, wow. And it's funny, I feel like you almost stole my point, but I was like, he sounds like he could have been in Black Moon. Like his vocally, he sounds like Buckshot to me. Like just inflections and tone of voice, I get Buckshot vibes. Yeah. And like Buckshot is one of the most aggressive tonal MCs to ever live, and for him to kind of have similar inflections but his own kind of abstract way of putting words together, That just made him super dope.
He's definitely in the same umbrella as the Wu. Like in as
Mm-hmm.
far as the kung fu, even the spiritual side of him, like that.
I mean, his name, he sounds like a Wu member.
Yeah.
If you didn't know, Jeru the Damaja, that sounds like the 10th member of Wu-Tang.
Yeah, it does.
He's maybe I think we're on some new territory here, but I think imagine if this was kind of like these were just different teams. People would want Jeru the Damaja on their squad.
Oh, for sure.
Because they're like, yo, this guy's an asset. He plays defense, plays off. He's a great defender, great playmaker.
He got drafted by a guru in the
pretty much in the first round.
in the Gangstar Foundation.
Yes.
So it's a tribute to his style and how good he is, because he would have fit in. We just named a few groups already off the jump. Given a little bit, he probably would even fit in with Tribe too. He just have to have be less so aggressive.
Right. Like he could have been a member of the Native Tongues. If he just kind of toned down the aggression a little bit, he could have fit. Lyrically, he could have fit easily.
Oh, man.
So since we're on that now, let's talk about him just style-wise. What do you guys get when you hear Jeru the Damaja, compared to everybody else?
I'm a big fan of the slow-paced lyricism, because when it's so slow-paced and the lyrics are like up here, that means it allows entry-level rap enthusiasts to get attracted to that. And it only takes one intellectual rapper. It only takes one native tongues-esque rapper to have people get attracted to that and actually go into other artists of the same ilk. And so it kind of helps out.
Yeah, because Guru has that, and then now you got Jeru.
Yeah.
So it's very in that similar lane there with the kind of the slow pace, laid back style.
But a tad more aggressive too. Lyricism's there. It's just
more direct, for sure. He's calling Puff Daddy out straight up.
By name.
And we were talking about, we were listening to a track and he's calling him straight up, and we're like, man, he was ahead of his time, man.
Right. Fast forward.
Because when you look at it now, things went really south.
He was kind of ahead.
Yeah, it makes Tupac look like a genius.
Seriously.
Yeah. Later down the road, watch. Imagine Jeru was saying some stuff like that.
Yeah. As far as style wise, I get KRS-One, education still in there.
Yes,
I get that mixed with the wisdom, but street knowledge as well, kind of in that jizza realm. So I get that, and then he also has that kung fu rap in him, which is something I like. I mean, I've always
battle rap for sure.
Wu-Tang's put me onto that so bad, where it's you don't say things with you always say things with the cha at the end of the word, so it's a damaja, instead of damager, a damaja. So it's things like that.
Oh yeah.
I like that style. What else? I mean, I feel like he also, when he writes, it's, he has iconic bars too, things I can come clean, just iconic bars he's spitting in there. That just sounds like, dang, dude.
Yeah.
It's almost like it sounds divine.
Yeah. So even within 2 bars, he'll go, I'll treat him, I'll treat him, beat him, and seat him, and then he'll continue the last part. Well, I think it would be the last couplet of that second bar. He could start a new thing again.
Yeah,
because he's already done a lot of rhyming within that for 3/4 of the.
He definitely does that Guru link. With the end of the bar links to the new bar.
Yeah,
he does that.
Yep, very few rappers could pull that off. I mean,
in an entertaining aspect.
Yeah.
Yep.
So that's dope. But then he's also a mix with metaphors in there. You got that, the deeper part elements. He got the deep stuff in there too.
Yeah.
So it's a good mix of both street wisdom mixed with the deeper stuff too. So he got both of those things.
And you know what? The one thing that we can say that's most paramount about him is just there's no gimmick.
No.
It is literally the man himself.
Yeah, that's who he is. I've seen a lot of videos of just him in interviews. This is who this dude is. He is I think they said that he joined Kung Fu class to get like he became like a martial artist or something like legit. And
Just so he can say he's a black belt in his lyrics
and mean it.
Premier was talking about that. Like he legit took classes, and one of the music videos, I think on the second album, that's where he actually demonstrates like some like karate stuff in the music video as well.
How much more Wu-Tang can you be when you're actually like rapping and doing kung fu?
Yeah.
He's like a long lost
Like,
cousin
legit.
of Wu-Tang.
Yeah, yeah.
He was just waiting for a shot to get called. Yo, I was like, hey, we need you.
Pretty much.
It was like, nah, 9 is enough.
Yeah.
I like how he references like the dirty like scoundrel or something in the first track.
Yeah.
That reminds me of Old Dirty Bastard. You know, the appreciation for the drunken master. Yeah. I definitely saw that he had an appreciation for that based off of him probably watching Kung Fu flicks with RZA and Jizza. Because this. Okay, so yeah, so him watching those flicks with RZA and Jizza, I'm sure is what really inspired him to like start to implement that into his music.
Yeah.
Why you look at me with that blank stare?
My bad, bro. I'm trying to.
You leave me that stare from Carlson, Tucker Carlson's like stare. Anyways,
All confusing. All confused.
But that was pretty dope. I want to mention that because you know he is from Brooklyn. And he was putting Brooklyn on in this track. He actually referenced or sampled KRS-One with Brooklyn Be Taking
Keep on taking it.
Keep on taking it, which is also interesting. When I said that he reminds me of KRS-One.
Yep.
But, you know, so this is like a hotbed of artists. He knew Biggie before Biggie was Biggie. Like he legit seeing him on the corner spitting like,
putting his flows together.
I don't know if he was doing that yet. But.
I just wonder if he actually knew him before that famous freestyle that he did outside of outside of this.
Outside the liquor store.
I don't know, liquor store. Oh no, bodega. My bad.
Bodega.
Can you
Mi gente, hey,
Sorry,
my
East
bad.
Coasters,
My bad.
Bodega, sorry.
Messing up.
But
Can you imagine them like running into a big like
Yeah.
while he's like spitting it like that on the corner? That's crazy.
it's like when it's like imagine just having Anakin Skywalker
Yeah.
and just
Yeah, 'cause he
letting him go to Puff.
Premier was
Right.
saying that he was like saying, you know, how do I get put on, man? Like, you know, I got Puff is interested. Like, I don't know. What do you think? Should I go with him?
I don't know how he's interested. Is he attracted to me?
Somehow he's interested.
No Diddy.
Shots. So with his style, like I feel like you know, it's a mixture of both like street wisdom, but then also like he has a deeper layer that he can go into with metaphors, and he talks about like, you know, just societal awareness, like, so that's in there, but then also it's like very direct, and then it's like hard hitting too, but slow pace. And I like how they said like disjointed but poetical lyricism. Like that's for sure a great,
undeniable.
Yeah.
We're
Description.
we're talking about two spectrums here.
Yeah.
And Jeru's right in the middle, because you're looking at all the street stuff that Mobb Deep pretty much was able to like
What
find
they covered,
great real
yeah.
estate in, and then you're talking about the super conscious stuff that like Poor Righteous Teachers, A Tribe Called Quest, all them.
Correct.
He's in the middle.
He's in the middle.
And that's not a bad spot to be in, because
To me, that's the perfect spot.
that's like what we call here, like we just cast the wide net.
Yeah.
You know,
Yep.
that's attracting a lot of people, especially in '94 in New York.
Right. He spit hard enough for the street guys to rock with him,
Yeah.
but it was still conscious enough to where, you know, those who truly had knowledge of self or was looking for that, you know, that higher sense of knowledge or a deeper consciousness could rock with him too, and not feel like, you know, they were out of touch. And along those same lines with his style, I just kind of, you know, was peeping, you know, through his music and kind of reading the lyrics a little bit, but mild cursing. You know what I mean? Like he cursed, but it wasn't like every fourth word. You know what I mean? He could go full verses without a curse. You know what I mean? Like, I think that's something where I don't know if that was deliberate or if that was just something where he was like, look, I can be as hard as whoever and not even have to curse that much.
Yeah.
You know
Wait till they find out he knows
that?
kung fu.
I mean,
Yeah.
so I look at stuff like that. Like that, to me, shows a higher level of even thinking and consciousness when you putting those lyrics together. Because, I mean, by the mid-'90s, that was easy. I mean, it'd be different if it was the 80s.
Yeah.
But by the mid-'90s, I mean, cursing on hip-hop was pretty regular by then.
Yeah.
And for him to just spit how he was spitting but still be as hard as whoever, to me, I think that made him extra dope.
He's a couple years before when people actually had to like put in a clean version.
Yep.
Where people actually had to make a second layer of lyrics for all that. Eminem's like super famous for that.
Oh yes.
What's also interesting to him is that he's a bit controversial in a way, because when he released this album, one of the tracks that garnered attention was "The Bitches," right? By Lauryn Hill, and also who else? Queen Latifah. They didn't really take to that, and they put out. I think Lauryn Hill, along with the Fugees, put out a response sort of to that. Zealots, I believe it was called. And then also Queen Latifah with the track called UNITY, Unity.
But that was before. So that came out right before this. So, it was around that same time, because that was the inspiration of that song. Because she was like, every other song was bitch this and ho that.
Right.
And that's what inspired her to make that record. But that was maybe late 93. And this is early 94. So this is right around that same time frame where, where do we go with this? Are we just saying it to say it? Is it, is there a meaning behind it? Whereas that's why I kind of do like that song, even though it's somewhat comical a little bit, but I really do feel like where he was coming from when he was saying it, at least there was a message behind it. It wasn't, he wasn't just saying it just for the sake of being controversial.
Yeah. And then even because during that song, he puts the category of the bitches into one category of
type of woman he's talking about.
It's not the queens I'm talking about.
There's a specific woman he's talking about that fits in that box.
Right. And then, also too, with, like you mentioned earlier, some of his bars got taken as shots, to Biggie's camp. So that's also another interesting part of it. One question I do have for us here is, why is it, do you think that he didn't like blow up, into the mainstream, like blow up? You know what I mean? Like, do you see something he should have did that would have made that happen, or what do you think?
I mean, I think it's a couple factors as far as with this album in particular and the time period. This is early 94. The West is still running hip hop at this moment, sales wise. Commercially, the West Coast was running everything. It still was Dre, Snoop, Death Row was running everything commercially. So like even Illmatic went gold. Like, it didn't sell a lot of albums. It wasn't until Nas' second album when he aimed at a little more commercial approach, came out with If I Ruled the World, big hit record, boom, Nas goes platinum. So I think it was the approach, whereas this album heralded classic, but it didn't have those hit records, and especially in that time, had this album come out maybe like 97, 98, it might have actually done better. You know what I mean? Yeah. But I think in that early midnight, like the only East Coast artist that really was selling at that time was Biggie, because he had the Juicy beef, and Big Papa, and
plus the beef too.
You know what I mean? That but that came. You know what I mean? But you had like I said, Juicy, Big Papa. One More Chance. Like those were actual commercial hits on top of everything else. He basically made Ready to Die is Illmatic with hit records. It's the same concept, but it has Juicy, One More Chance, and Big Papa. So
the thing that was missing for it to garner platinum
literally if this album everything else he got, if there was a Big Papa on this record, platinum easy.
That's a good call,
because it's the same structure. Illmatic had it, Sunrises in the East has it, those what else had Method Man's first album, Tikal, but what put it over? The song with Mary J. Blige.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
The singles were at the time.
You had to have that one. You didn't have to have a bunch of them, but you had to have
even
one.
For this album, the single "Come Clean" I think is the one that.
That was the biggest song on there.
I think that got him signed. Actually,
so that was probably the biggest song, but like it wasn't that super colossal hit record. Like you had to have. Like I said, back then you didn't have to have a bunch of them back then, but you did have to have one.
Do you guys follow Jeru now? Like more recent to see what he's doing now more
No.
recently. I think I've seen something as recent as probably 3 years ago.
Okay.
Still got it, like still got the flow.
Oh.
still like
I'm sure you don't lose that. You don't lose
saying it too
that.
much.
You don't lose that.
Yeah.
I mean, if you nice, you nice. Like
Right.
Yeah.
you throw a beat on, he could just go. Like
right.
that was never a question. I just believe that the timing of it and the lack of
Yeah.
the super hit record. Like by the 90s, you had to have a hit.
Yeah, he's at a particular point where the Infamous is out, Illmatic,
Right.
The aftermath of 36 Chambers,
Right.
So not only are you dealing with the supernova that's the West Coast,
Right.
but you're also dealing with your own solar
Crowded
system
space,
of will,
yeah.
if you will, of the East Coast,
Mm-hmm.
where everyone is
Dropping.
coming for it.
Yeah.
Wu-Tang.
Really
you know,
coming for it.
and
Mob comes out.
then one thing that
Renaissance, really.
coupled with all that, you have this idea of, I mean, Jeru the Damaja got knowledge of self. Does he even have an issue with him just being
Where is that?
putting
Right.
out
Yeah,
nice
yeah.
records
Right.
and stuff like that?
Right.
You know, had he deviated from his true self with
Right.
hit records of people that he probably didn't even want to
Yeah.
collab with, or like ideas that he didn't want to really promote.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that takes you into this fork in the road where you're deviating from your authentic self.
Because that point eventually does come where they want you to like, oh,
You have
change
to-
this, dress
yep.
this way, change.
Here's this bag of money.
Right.
Yep.
That comes.
Wear this
eventually.
chain, work with this artist,
Right.
you know what I mean, sample this record, you know, whatever that
Yeah,
fork in the road
it almost
is.
seems like the bigger you get,
You
the
have-
more
at some point, you have to-
sacrifice of yourself. Really,
At some point. Very few get there naturally. Very few. For the most part, at some point, they got to deviate to a
Right.
degree. I keep going back to Biggie, but he hated Juicy. He hated that song. He did not like it at all. Like, he's like, I'm not singing. Like, this is crazy.
I've heard rumors of him
he hated
voicing
it.
like Puff's direction.
He hated that song.
Wasn't in full
Puff
agreement with it.
Puff was like, I'm telling you, it's going to be a hit. I'm telling you. He only did it just because he said it, and it did blow up. But the thing is, like, you have to have that one, like we mentioned, 36 Chambers. The one that propelled that album as far as on a mainstream level was Cream.
Right.
Cream was
You
a
have to have that
monster.
single that really,
Cream was a monster. You know what I mean? Like, great records throughout the album, but Cream was to this day, everybody knows that.
Yeah,
Facts.
and then that's the uneasy feeling that I feel when I'm thinking about Biggie, like doing things, like doing projects that he just doesn't feel like he could get along with. You just imagine him when it's in the studio with Pharrell Williams,
yeah.
Right.
like
Seriously.
the rock your body instrumentals going on. He's like, Big, I need you on this track.
Right.
Do 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 do
Like,
do.
what?
Yeah,
Nah,
that's
can't
why I
do
always
this,
give
man.
Snoop credit, because Snoop was able to adapt and work with it, and I think that's a big part of your career, being able to adapt.
Yep.
Not to the point where you're like, being a fraud,
Right.
Yeah.
But a point to at least you're adapting somewhat.
Yeah, your style upon this
Yeah,
beat, or
right,
your
yeah.
style collabed with this
correct,
person.
Correct,
Yep.
correct. I feel like that's what Eminem had a lot of challenge with in the 2000s. I felt like he couldn't really adapt too well. He was too much going
Yeah,
very
he
like
was Slim Shady on a
more-
lot of Eminem
right,
features.
Right.
For real.
Exactly.
Right. Good point.
Or trying to chase that Slim Shady,
Right.
where it's like you see him now, he's kind of more adapting and changing his style a little bit. I will say though, one of my critiques for Eminem that I would like to see is for him to like keep it like, or do an album that would be like just more hip hop sounding, like, just kind of take it back. Like, I would like to hear Eminem
just spit.
taking it back. Yeah. Just the drums, bass, and just like spitting lyrics.
Get the best producers and
Yeah.
just rhyme.
I would love to hear that.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that taken away from anything's done now. Even the last project is nice, fire. It's going to go down as a great album.
One of his better recent
Yeah.
ones for sure.
Exactly. He's been trying to clean it up. I feel like, not clean it up. Let me change my words. He's been putting out projects, I feel like, that have been received better more recently. And I think it comes after all the criticism that he's received, because I feel like he's listened to that and he's changed. Whereas probably before, he had a lot of yes men around him before, probably.
Yeah.
But back to Jeru. Album cover. This album cover I mean, right away from the beginning, let me just say for the listeners, I have to describe it first, but it's very like, if you're visually watching this, you can't help but see this. Anyways, Jeru the Damaja is the title, like on the title of this cover on the very top. And then the actual title of the album is on the bottom. Interestingly, like if it's rising, like as the sun rises in the east. Also, this is dope because the sun literally does rise, from the east, which is New York, which is where he's from, Brooklyn. So that's dope. And then, of course, you have the Twin Towers, very iconic in the 90s. But in this sense, it's actually on fire. Mm-hmm. And this was this was something that a lot of, I think, MCs, kind of took shots at, about, I think, Biggie even himself.
Blow up like the World Trade.
And it's the reason why I laugh, because it's just like, 9/11 being one of those things that like people like would look back and do conspiracy videos like, like, did they know this? Was it predicted?
Mm-hmm.
Or, and I could picture them using this album cover as like one of those images.
Or Jeru the Damaja had the insight.
Yeah, I guess it was a bombing in '93.
Yeah. So that bombing in '93 is the reason for the blow up, like the World Trade for Biggie.
And we see different images. I think at Simpsons they had an image of this.
Where Bart holds up the pamphlet that says that kind of says 9/11 next to the World Trade Center.
Mario Brothers, the movie, also had an image of the Twin Towers falling.
Oh, and then the countless Back to the Future videos we see.
Find out 30 years.
Yes, sir. What's with the wire?
What's with the wire?
That video was so
too
epic.
many drinks, too many conspiracy videos, and us like, oh man, it is for real.
No way. That was probably the best video, by the way.
So funny.
Anybody ever covering
the pines are the towers.
The pines are the towers. Pines Towers.
What I'm looking at here is that the sun is so close to New York, is that it's touching these buildings. Ooh. So then that means that the building that's getting eaten up the most is actually the most furthest back.
Ooh, okay.
So
it reminds me of Busta Rhymes' first album cover too. What was it called again?
Oh, The Coming?
No, the first one.
We just covered it.
We covered it a while back.
No, about something we did cover. It was not Armageddon. It was
Annihilation. No, I don't know why I'm forgetting it, but I'll look it up right now. But anyways, it reminds me of that album as well.
Something event.
Yeah.
Extinction level event.
Yeah, extinction level event.
Something event.
Yes.
You were that
Coming
close.
up next on That's Hip Hop.
You were that close. Something event.
The font reminds me of the font from the short-lived cartoon, the animated series Tasmania.
Okay.
Remember, if you put up the Tasmania thing, it kind of matches the same thing.
See, I was thinking like the yellow letters. They remind me of Set It Off.
Oh yeah. So the font,
font from Set It Off.
It's funny that you mentioned that because there was a lot of like urban strife movies that always use the typewriter font.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah, Set It Off did use that.
Yeah, because you can see the offness, like if
it literally looks like
the letters are off.
Looks just like the movie Set It Off as far as the title.
Right.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then the underlining keyword there is rises.
Yeah, and then the sun can be used as for like SON.
Of course.
That's always going to be the whole
the metaphor and everything.
I call you sun because you shine like one.
Method. Yeah, so I mean that's a pretty cool album cover. It's also, I want to note that it's like nighttime, it's dark, so it's like the realism, like the street, like danger, like you get like that, also the grit in there.
And
like
he got the serious meme mug.
Yeah, and his palms fisted.
I'm not playing.
He could be the sun in this album cover too.
That he's literally the one rising.
He's the sun.
Yeah, that's also another dope play. Yeah, dope album cover though. This is like a very sick album cover.
Oh yeah, one of the best.
Watch when we see him in the comments, we're like, no, you're all wrong. He's gonna have a whole
dissertation of what it really meant.
yeah. There's a thesis on it.
Thesis.
It wouldn't be a thesis. It'd be his actual fact of like this is the reason.
This is actually
like,
what it was.
Yeah.
So this is the point in time when we start to transition into the songs. For those who haven't, watched our videos before, please right now, this is a good moment to just go ahead and hit the subscribe button. We'll wait for you. All right, thank you. And then also don't forget to like and share. Don't forget to comment your thoughts about Jeru the Damaja. When was the first project you listened to him on, and just what were your thoughts about him? Just in the ethos of like hip hop, like where does he fall for you?
Yeah.
Also, I want to mention really quick before we get into things that Mark, he's running a pin business. We want for sure to show support and love there. A lot of cool pins. If you guys are looking for that, but you guys are, not finding the pin that you want, you might find it here on That's Hip Hop with Mark. Where can they go to find that?
Yeah, you can find us online at thenotoriouspin.com or on Instagram at lnotoriouspin, on TikTok at thenotoriouspin. Peep game at our 2 new drops. We actually dropped the 2 iPod enamel pins,
those
both
are hard.
Those in black and white. Peace to the random person online that actually bought the first one. So it was cool to see that. It was cool to actually send off that one. So we specialize in all the things pop culture and what I think that will fly and people find attractive. So we're trying out there at the Notorious Pin, and I say we, but it's just me.
That's nice. All right, and then also too, Ali, do you want to promote?
Yeah, definitely. My poetry book, Restoring the Feeling.
Yeah.
It's digital only. Anywhere you can get digital books, Amazon, Barnes & Noble, iTunes. Go check it out. It's called Restoring the Feeling, poetry book. First one I ever wrote.
Nice. And then also too, I want to take this time to just wish Mark a happy birthday.
Oh, yeah.
Yo.
Man. Happy birthday.
Guys.
Yeah.
Oh, what the heck is this?
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Oh,
What is
man.
this?
Live on
No
camera.
way.
Amazon, man.
Bro, are you kidding me?
It's the Ark of the Covenant.
But thanks, Mr. Bezos,
Amazon.
for finding it. You got the one.
Yeah,
You
from
got
Amazon.
the one.
Ordered it from Amazon real quick.
Yo.
Yeah. Oh, here.
Yeah, we're going to do this live.
Yeah,
Keep the camera
I think it's perforated at the edge, so, but we'll be all right. Let's see.
Nice.
Yeah, we're going to do this live.
We're gonna do it live.
Nice. I've been telling Mark about this for some time, so this
No way.
much
If
coming.
it is,
this is much coming.
if it's Star Trek the complete series, I'm gonna lose my mind, bro.
Yeah, there's something coming in there, but I'm not sure. Been talking to Mark about this
Oh,
for some time.
what, dude?
I've been talking to him
Oh, dude.
the original.
Damn.
Oh, I love you, man.
Yeah,
I appreciate it.
That's what's up, man.
There's some
That's
great
what's
stuff in
up.
there.
Dog.
Dang. He hooked him up.
Yeah.
I'm like this
That's
whole
hard.
time.
That's hard.
Yeah, man. It's legendary right there.
That's what's up.
That's hip hop.
Yeah. Peace to Mark
Facts.
for his birthday. And also, too, we need the commenters. We need the commenters to wish Mark a happy
Yeah,
birthday,
man. Go ahead.
Mark
Man.
is the man.
Run it
You
up.
Give him his flowers.
Run it up in the comments, y'all.
Yeah, I appreciate you guys. Yeah. Ali, where's I did not expect that from Zane.
He's like, oh, where's yours?
Him?
Where's your present?
Oh man. No, but in all seriousness, I appreciate you guys. And like I want to give you guys the piece too, because it's this is the journey that we're going to cross, and I appreciate you guys wishing me the happy birthday.
Most def.
Yeah, man. Had to on the show.
Yeah.
All right, so we're gonna go into it. We're covering 3 songs. This is part of the podcast. We pick 3 songs that we like out of the album. Sometimes it's a very hard choice, and then this time it was still a little bit of a challenge.
Yes.
Because there's a lot of great hits on here. We have, I was gonna say getting it. I'm looking at from our previous episode.
Oops.
We have D Original, The Mind Spray, My Mind Spray, excuse me. Come Clean is the 3rd one.
Mm-hmm.
Legendary tracks. A lot of honorable mentions on this album.
Yeah. We might as well just bring it all up
Yeah,
right
just
now.
run. Yeah, just run through them.
But
the honorable
the honorable mentions, the bitches,
The bitches.
and then this is one of the first times that I've came across an album where I'm like waiting for the heat to drop because you get a dope instrumental and then the track comes around and you're just like, wait, that was it?
Y'all just talked on the song?
And then I had to make sure that the track listing actually ended.
Yes.
Yeah, you're talking about perverted monks.
Perverted monks in the house. That beat is crazy.
That's how nice Jeru the Damaja is. It's like,
here, I got a beat I can waste here.
And not only that, but it's twice.
Did it twice. Same beat, different interlude. Did it again.
Yeah.
It's like, what? You did this to us twice?
That was such a nice beat. I ended up freestyling over it. I was just like, you know what? I'll run it back. I'll make it.
I'll rhyme over it.
Yeah,
like that.
It was
beat
dope,
is
man.
Crazy.
And you don't have MCs passing on, and maybe I gotta just using dope beats for that.
No,
in kind of like a sacrificial type of thing.
Can you imagine? You got DJ Premier at the tip, like at your fingertips. Like
he's like, you want to do what to my beat?
Yeah, I'm just talking.
Yeah, huh? Imagine the options you got there. Like the dude can really, literally tailor make your beat for you, like, which is crazy. In fact, I think he did that for. There was a track that Biggie and them did in the Junior Mafia on the Players Anthem. And I guess they used the same sample of that. This was on the second album of Jeru's.
Okay,
got it.
So DJ Premier didn't want to use it. He's like, nah. He goes, we can't use it now. We can't bite. But then he was like, okay, I could flip it. Let me chop it up, loop it, reverse
Saute it real quick, marinate it.
Yeah, just
damn.
yeah.
You imagine being DJ Premier amidst all this beef. He's like, hey, bro, I just mix and provide services.
Beats, man. Y'all issues is y'all
He's like,
issues.
you guys just both have my business card. I'm not involved in y'all thing.
He's all sending Biggie beats and sending J. Rue
like
beats.
he's literally providing the soundtrack for them to diss each other. Yeah. Crazy.
All I do is provide a service.
More honorable mentions. We want to mention Mental Stamina. He was putting on his counterpart there. That was pretty dope. You Can't Stop the Prophet. That was one of the ones that we were like debating in between.
That was a hard one.
Covering, but that track is dope because he goes into that storytelling mode, but then it's also metaphorical. Talking about like the bad energy that's out to get him, but you can't stop him. Like it's a dope track because it's like story mode of that, which is crazy. Also, too, another honorable mention: Ain't the Devil Happy, which is pretty cool because I think he's talking about more like just societal issues. But it is saying it in the perspective of like, is that what we want? Like, we're just going to make the devil happy by not doing what we need to do as a people. But
like the embodiment of sin, isn't it?
Yeah. That was pretty dope. Also, too, I like Jungle Music. Static was also sick, too. Dope album all the way through, man. You can really listen to this.
This is like an MC's album.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it is, for sure. All right, so we're going to start off with The Original. The intro... as well, kind of set this up, like prepares you. And he kind of goes into that duality a little bit with life, talking about that it's constructed, this whole universe is constructed by the struggle of life and good and bad, yin and yang. And he's like really about that philosophy and already setting you up with the deep foundation that this is going to go deeper than what you might have thought.
Yeah.
Because it looks really gritty and stuff from the outset, but he goes deeper. So intro track, we're talking about The Original.
Yeah. Can I set it off?
Go ahead, kick it off.
Okay. Dirty rotten scoundrel. Dirty rotten scoundrel. Dirty rotten scoundrel. That's what I'm called on the street. Could connive and cheat, but rarely get beat. Already off the jump, you see who he's like, taking a little bit from. Little inspiration from, and it's the best, taking a few characteristics from like sounding alike like Guru.
Yeah.
It's why you can't go wrong.
Yeah.
No.
You can't go wrong.
Fundamental.
Could connive and cheat, but rarely get beat. You see, I'm streetwise, a con game pro, kicking the Bobby bullshit, too smart for Willie Bobo. Not stressing 5-0, hot-handed CeeLo. Live in the land of crooks, yes, Brooklyn's the borough. Homicide Central, East New York, where the maniac, depressive psycho murderers stalk. It's
East New York.
Yeah, really kind of setting up the picture
Where the manic
of,
depressive
where he's coming from. this is like how we roll. This is how we walk. Like, you know, you can't imitate this.
And I'm gonna bring it back a few lines where he mentioned, and this is why I liked hip hop back then when it was regional.
Yeah.
Because you would learn stuff that you didn't know about or weren't familiar with, different lingo, different, you know, cultural things.
Yeah.
Like, you know, he said not just in 5-0, high hand and CeeLo. Like CeeLo is a dice game they play out there. You know what I mean? I guess when you roll, you try to get 4, 5, and 6. Like I guess that's when you win in CeeLo. Whereas, you know, out here we play craps.
Yeah.
You know, 7, 11. Like so I like when rappers would do stuff like that where you learn about a place even if you hadn't been there. You pick up on things that they do differently in different regions. I love that.
I think a core example would be when they kept mentioning, I remember Tribe would always mention, Tribe and a couple other people would mention Dave Dinkins, the mayor, one of the mayors, like either the mayor of New York or something like that. And it was like, dude Dave Dinkins. And I remember on Totally Awesome, it was the DVD with Tracy Morgan.
Yeah.
Tracy Morgan's in it. He's all he's like, you didn't even, he's trying to teach this white kid that wants to be black. He's like, you ever voted for Dave Dinkins? Because Dave Dinkins was black. And I'm just like, wait, Dave Dinkins? I was like, Tribe rhymed off of that. So it's cool because you end up doing like reverse homework of sorts because you end up like wanting to know where these lyrics.
Picking up a small detail that only somebody from there knows.
Yep.
You know?
Yeah. I love that.
Yeah. That's sick.
Walk like a ninja on the asphalt. Here, talk is cheap. You outline in chalk. Ooh. And then there's more hard times than on good times.
There's no talking about it. Yeah. You want to run that gap? You're outlining chalk.
Here, talk is cheap. You outline in chalk. And there's more hard times than on good times. Damn. Good times had it real bad.
Good times was rough all the time.
Right. The most dedicate their life to crimes. I'm steady scheming. Won't work for a dime. Used to get tax-free loot all of the time. Type slick, can't fess on Rue because I'm the original dirty, rotten scoundrel. And way to flip his name to be the Rue.
Right.
To use it to whenever he needs to like actually fit his name in, but just make sure that it only doesn't take too much space up.
Correct.
Yeah. That's
because saying Jeru the Damaja all the time would be very long.
Yeah.
Half the bar.
I'll take verse 2. Before trains were graffiti proof, I used to get loose, dirty, rotten since the days of the deuce. Dirty because of the skin I'm in. The fact that I have melanin automatically makes me a felon. What a bar. What a bar.
That's a bar that you would hear today.
Yeah.
Like you know what I mean? Like a lot of people didn't know what melanin. Yeah. Melanin was not a word people just readily said in the 90s.
Just off the cuff.
Like now, that's a word that's kind of regular, but in 1994, people were not running around talking about melanin in their rhymes.
Like
nah.
Even though I'm righteous rottens, what you're yelling, but I'm not chain snatching or drug selling. According to your books, you said I would be damned like Ham. Scoundrel, opposite of the king that I am. Want to get this is like
Knowledge
Kendrick.
yourself,
this is like Kendrick Lamar bars.
No, seriously.
Yeah, because you know Kendrick, you realize this is DNA. You know what I mean? Like he's already on this.
That higher level of thinking.
Yeah. You want to get funny? You can get bummy. Take you to the east, back again, and get money. I'm adding my own bars. Take you back to the east and back again, money. Filthy, petrified trick. Step past your sister. Challenge the damager, and you'll be a history. Wow, what a breakdown. History. Mortal combat fatality. The original. Don't sing no R&B. Nasty MC deity. Is that shots at Drake? That shots at Drake.
Nah, that was
he foresaw it all.
That was again. These times, this was still these times. Hip hop and R&B. It was a very clear divide.
You brought that up before, yeah.
It was not hip hop was frowned upon by R&B.
The ongoing battle.
It's just a fact. Now they all blend, but back then,
You hear that, Drake? No, I'm just kidding. Nasty MC deity chop off domes. With the poems that come out from the pineal gland.
Yeah.
Wow.
The pineal, sorry.
That's deep. That's deep. As I expand, you know who I am. Poems that come out the pineal gland, is that like up here, right?
It's in the middle.
third.
That's also
The third.
Also the third eye.
yeah. They even say that at a certain point of the pineal gland that there's like this crystal. There's like this actual mineral that's there. It's nuts.
Like Vision from the Avengers.
Possibly.
Yeah?
Possibly. With this second verse, it's very apparent of the example that we brought on where you get streets.
Right.
You get the consciousness, you get him right in the middle.
Right.
Where he's able to go to both.
Yeah.
Go to both, come back in the middle. And it's very apparent that he's in the books. Melanin and also known your pineal gland.
That's
That's
a crazy.
In the 90s?
Again,
in the
this is-
90s.
people were not talking like this
Yeah,
on
you didn't hear
records
that,
in the
yeah.
90s.
Yeah.
It just wasn't happening.
Yeah.
Nope.
Yeah, because nowadays it's familiar to us. Like,
Yeah.
all this lingo is familiar.
Like
But
that's the stuff. Like Ab-Soul has a
Yeah.
song called Pineal Gland.
not-
You
not
know what I
back
mean? But 90s.
yeah. So then now we're going to go to the bitches, right?
Verse 3. We got third verse.
Yeah, he wants to go to the bitches that bad.
No, we got
All right, verse 3.
The bitches can wait.
Father of all styling, I'll be wildin' on wax. We hack shit up like big axe and little axe. Don't need toast to make you jump like bungee. Tracks real muddy like Brooklyn is real grungy. When I come through, I clog up your sewer. Peep the maneuver, drop the ill manure. So bring Mr. Clean, Drano, and Roto-Rooter. No
Definitely
matter
more gritty
Yeah,
here.
he's bringing the whole squad.
Bring 'em
Way
all.
more gritty right
I'm
here.
dirty. Bring this clean
all of
squad.
them. No matter what you do, you can't get through the crud that comes out your system. You're another victim of dirty rotten, dirt up in your grill. So what you gonna do but pay homage to the homage too?
No cursing, but this is a filthy
Yeah,
verse.
that's crazy. Yeah, you're right.
Hard, dirty, grimy. Not a single curse word. in
Even
that
when he
verse.
mentions Mr. Clean, Drano, and Roto-Rooter, despite all that, is still a
Right.
dirty verse.
Right. Yeah, dude.
was hard.
Fire verses are ready to start off, and then hard hitting beat, complemented by DJ Premier. On top of that, it's like you can't really go wrong.
Nah.
No, man.
So we go down to now. What's the next one?
My Mind
We're going
Spray.
to the mind spray. My mind spray. All right. So we're going to my mind spray.
I like how the lyric sheet, Premier cuts and scratches Jeru saying my mind spray for 4 bars. That's dope. Peace to genius for real.
My mind spray.
I annihilate as I articulate words of power. Your rhymes are unconfounding. So death's your fate. Ostentatious genius of rapping is mentally clapping to take hip hop back. That's what's happening. Proficiency and ingenuity plus more styles in a Shaolin monastery.
See, I love when rappers really bend their vocabulary and really expand. Like when you could throw those big college words in your
And have it
bars
make sense.
and they actually, like, you're not just saying them to say them, they actually make sense of what you're saying. It's fire.
Yeah.
Let's run it back that way I could get back into
Yeah,
it.
go
So
ahead.
proficiency and ingenuity plus more styles than the Shaolin monastery. In poetry, my formula's deadly. Bring your hypest man in your army, another casualty. So bring your hype man, the hypest man,
The hype is one.
another casualty.
Boom.
Slow like demise, I crept on those that slept, dropping my rhyme science like I'm Imhotep. Demise, slow like demise. Demise was, man, I forget what Zelda game it is, but there's an actual guy who's, you know how Ganondorf
crazy
sometimes turns
reference.
into
Yeah.
like characters.
Yeah.
This is Jeru future referencing somebody, I think.
That's crazy.
Slow like demise, I crept on those that slept, dropping my rhyme science like I'm Imhotep.
What's Imhotep?
Imhotep is in ancient. He's known as the ancient father of medicine. I forget
Yeah.
from where. I don't know if it, but he's known as the ancient father of medicine. That's the
pretty
name.
crazy.
That's what I know. I know of when I hear that
Is
name.
he the guy that Nipsey was on? Nipsey Hussle was on some guy.
That's Dr. Sabi.
Oh, okay, that's a different.
Yeah, different guy.
But
And
same idea though, same concept, or
Similar, maybe where he got his,
using
maybe where Dr. Sabi may have gotten his concepts from.
yeah.
But yeah, Imhotep is like was known as the ancient father of medicine.
yeah, and then also the one made famous, the Universal
Egypt.
classic movies,
Mm-hmm.
the mummies, all that mummies called Imhotep, as well.
Imhotep.
Interesting.
Mhm.
Application of mind over matter, made fool scatter, rhymes fatter, mind splatter. The girl bent over and over and over.
Yeah, I was wondering what that had to do with anything. Just her bending over. And
I guess that's how nice he is. It's like he's so nice that he'll have your girl bending over.
Right.
MCs try to touch the Damaja, but you just can't win. Excellent with the wordplay. You lay face down when my mind's spray.
Yeah, dope concept overall because he's going contrary to what he's probably hearing, which is a lot of like just, you know, almost like mumble rap in a way, but they're just talking about, you know, spraying this and that with their guns, Tech Nines and all that. And he's like saying, nah, like use your mental, like, let me show you. Like, that's pretty
The
dope.
idea of this verse, the idea of the song is fully complemented into the first verse because this is a lyrical display with words, with, you know, little double meanings here and there.
Right.
You know, forget the street stuff I was talking about a couple of these tracks before.
Right.
Check this out. Check what my mind does.
Right.
And this is a classic Premier technique where he'll take a word, a bar, 2 words, a phrase that you say, and he'll sample it in the song. Like he says, "Mind spray," he's chopping it. It almost like he said it in a different song.
Yeah.
So it almost where it sounds like a sample of a different song, but he literally just chops that one, you know, phrase when he says "mind spray," and there you have it.
Check the whoever does verse 2. Check the note above. It's comedy.
What did it say?
Primo does his thing again, like only Primo can.
Yeah.
Say it for the audience. Say it for the audience.
It's funny
guys.
reading it in silence. Like that's what's funny.
Yeah.
But you know, I also wanted to mention really quick about because just on this topic while we're here, because it's really relevant even today. Like you know, when he's talking about this, contrary to what he's hearing, those who are talking about like let's call it gun rap, right? He's talking about just using your mental and all that. And I wanted to just say, like, we see, even in today's time, we see how much more damage it does being able to articulate through rap even. And it really damage or taint your image, even your career. Like what we see with Kendrick and what the outcome is out of this beef. And how much it's like now changed the perception of Drake.
The scope of everything is different now. Like at least for the time being.
Yeah.
Like for the time being, like the scope has changed where people are gonna be paying attention. At least, we don't know how long it'll last, but at least for the time being, people are paying attention.
Right.
Like you can't just throw out whatever. You can't just say whatever and think it's gonna work. Like you gotta rhyme. You gotta Eminem just dropped. Common and Pete Rock just dropped. Like we're in a space again where
Renaissance.
You know what I mean? Like
Renaissance.
again, how long will it last? I don't know. But for this brief moment right now, the days of just throwing out whatever. Right now, you gotta pause that.
It's the hill from the valley for sure.
Definitely.
All right, verse 2. You want to get that one, Ollie?
Yeah, I got you. Thunder on your dome with no help from Mad Max. Damn, that's all right
That's
there.
already hard right there.
Lyrics like hype tattoos go over the dope tracks. We booby traps all your
You said his
inventions.
lyrics are like tattoos on these tracks?
Man, lyrics like hype tattoos.
That's a great description, man.
Go over the dope tracks. We booby traps all your inventions. We know the intentions of MC kleptomaniacs. Rap brainiacs have cardiacs soon after the attack. When it comes to rhyming, I slam harder than Shaq. Accomplished the biofeedback, more complex than an almanac.
And at that time, Shaq was throwing it down.
Oh, this was young Orlando
This
Shaq.
is like bringing down
This
rims.
is Orlando Shaq.
So
Exactly.
slamming it down was a bar.
Oh, for sure. Accomplished the biofeedback, more complex than an almanac. Keep you up like an aphrodisiac. Idealist, not an opportunist.
That's a sick rhyme.
Don't molest, no shorty stealing all. I'm dangerous. Mentally, you can't talk to me, hear me, or see me. You're not equipped. From street blocks to cell blocks, my vocals rock.
Whoa, hold on. So that's a dope. I love anytime an artist does this, from this to this, from A to Z. Like that was beautiful right there.
Man.
From street blocks to cell blocks, my vocals rock.
Man.
And anytime you end it with a rock, like I rock bells, I just love that little pause. I rock like this.
Street blocks to cell blocks. Man.
That's masterful.
Oh,
that
for
bar.
sure.
That bar's sick.
Do more work than a crackhead with a toolbox.
Imagine.
So
Can I do more?
even that bar, even the bar after "Don't molest, no shorty, and all I'm dangerous."
Mark,
Oh, yeah, just pack it up. Dude, so this is a cool bar here, and I don't know, but I'm just thinking out loud here. Mentally, you can't talk to me, hear me, or see me. So this seriously solidifies himself as this interdimensional being that you can't see.
Yeah.
He's so beyond your reality
Yeah.
that you can't see him, hear him, or can't even talk to him.
Yeah.
So he's just that above.
Man,
That's crazy.
that's nuts. And that's a great way to illustrate that.
Yeah.
Do more work than a crackhead with a toolbox. Jeru nerve toucher, microphone wrecker. If your honey's a queen, I'll sex her. More important, the mind strikes like the 9 strikes.
The 9 pressure points.
Damn, a priest by May. You reach for your Uze with my mind spray. Look at the next.
Primo flexes that razor sharp turntable wizardry.
Wizardry. That's literally what he's doing,
bro.
Why?
That's
why
a good Easter egg.
Why a priest by May? You reach for your Uze with my mind spray. Like a priest by May.
Priest by May. You reach for your Uze with my mind spray.
All right,
Yeah, because May's capitalized, so it has to be the
month of May.
but it's not the May of like the choice of.
Yeah.
I don't know.
All right, well, I'll leave that for the commenters then.
Yeah, of course the commenters are gonna have the
Y'all know.
The
Go
answer-
ahead.
The answer key. Verse 3. J.E. Ra. Ooh. It's a horror to you. Lyrical kung fu. So do your kung fu if you know kung fu. Dirty, down low profile.
Yeah, emphasizing on the raw too.
Right. Shoot up jams without aid of lead projectiles, styles, ridiculous techniques, infamous. Take more heads than Santa Claus at Christmas. Science misfits meet the wrath of my wit. Immediately following, they go into
Conniption fit.
Conniption fit.
What's that? Conniption fit.
It's like being like so stupefied.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Reach into my bag of darkness and spark this like it's arsonist. Ooh, blow it up like a terrorist. And then that goes back to like this cover right here. I'm not a sexist, don't have the power to be a racist. I'm a scientist and an activist, complex yet simple, like Mixelplix. What's that?
Cartoon character
Oh, okay.
who tried to defeat Superman by challenging him
Oh, okay.
to saying his name. Superman gets
So
mixed.
there we go with the metaphors, like already, like dropping it.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny how he pronounces the name that Superman had issues
trouble saying.
pronouncing.
Yeah. Unlike the silly devil, I don't come with tricks. So out there to all you MCs, return to the righteous way or meet death face to face with my mind spray.
Is there a? I wanted to ask you real quick, Isaiah, but what is the key connection when they mention the silly devil and tricks? Do they?
Unlike
Is there
the
like
silly
is there like a certain passage?
Well, I think
the
of
Bible
like
about
Adam,
that?
I think of Adam and Eve.
serpent.
You know, the serpent.
Oh,
was
okay.
That's my
trick 'em.
first thought. Yep.
But then also too, like, you know, in the desert too, he comes to tempt him with like to turn the stone into bread. It's another tempting.
Oh, the time during the Exodus for
Or during when Jesus was
was in the
fasting.
okay,
the
got it.
40-day fast. So that connects there too. And so yeah, that's pretty crazy though.
The last note at the end, Primo wrecks it like a 12-car collision. Dude, Genius just went.
They went for it on this one. They
So
went
now,
for it.
So now this brings us to the very iconic this track got him signed. And we're talking about Come Clean. This is a legendary track, legendary beat, legendary sample, the way that this came together. Definitely unique in the realm of beats. And I feel like Premier set him up with the alley-oop.
Oh yeah.
And then Jeru brought it down.
Jammed it.
Yeah. Verse 1, do you want to do the honors, Mark, on that one?
Yeah. You want to front what? Jump up and get a buck. If you're feeling lucky duck, then press your luck. I snack.
Already, we have to stop there already. So, you know, this is like referencing to you jump up and like you want to step up, basically. You want
Punks
to step
jump
up
up to get beat down.
Yeah. And if you're feeling lucky, duck, then press your luck. I
Yeah.
think that's they were saying like a reference to
The game show, Press Your Luck.
the
Yeah.
80s game
No
show.
whammies, no whammies.
Yeah.
I snatch fake gangster MCs and make them faggot flambe. Your non-spray,
Flag
my
flamboy.
mind spray.
The faggot flambe though, like the articulation.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Your nine spray, my mind
That
spray.
already iconic.
One bar that you
Yeah.
need is just like, oh,
That's
That's
iconic.
it.
What do you-
That's it.
That's
What are
an
we gonna
iconic
do?
bar.
Man.
Just that.
Wow.
malignant mist that leave your mind that'll leave comp defunct. This results in your mind. This results your remains stuffed in a car trunk. You couldn't come to the jungles of the east, popping that yang. You won't survive. Get live.
And look
Catch
how
a wreck
dope!
is a
Look
thing.
how dope that sounds. The jungles of the east. That just sounds like you don't want to come into my.
Oh, you don't want
like,
to come over here.
Yeah, that's sick.
I don't gangbang or shoot out bang bang. Oh man, descriptive.
Yeah, he's going off.
Leaving with a point.
Yeah, and then even with the rhyme, like gang bang
Bang,
bang
or
bang.
shoot. Bang bang.
that-
The relentless lyrics is the only dope I slang. Dude,
Like,
I was
yeah.
driving to work and I was like, oh, good Lord. I was like, damn.
This is like like you were saying earlier. This is a lyricist's song, like right here.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
for sure.
I'm the true master. You could check my credentials. You want to get someone pissed off and tell them to check my credentials. You call a regular person that should have doctor in front of their name. They'll tell you that. Check my credentials. It's doctor.
Right.
Call me doctor. Because I choose to use my infinite potential. Got a freaky flow. Control the mic like Fidel Castro locked Cuba. Woo! Political bars there. So deep that you can't scuba dive. My jive's origin is unknown like the Jubas.
But then again, too, like I just like anytime an MC references their relation to the mic. This is Jeru's now, let's say, commentary to it.
Yeah.
You know, that I control the mic like Fidel Castro controls Cuba.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
That's mic control, baby.
That's crazy.
No embargo on that one.
Yeah, that one's sick.
I've accumulated honeys all across the map because I'd rather bust a nut than bust
That's
a
a
cap.
cap.
In your back. In fact, my rap snatch is sacrilege. Whoa, damn, that's the. I think that was the joint that.
Sacrilegious? Is that
No,
like,
sacroiliac.
It's a joint.
Yeah, it's a joint. I think it's the joint that Bo
Connect your-
Jackson fractured.
Yep, connects your back to your hip.
oh yeah.
Yeah.
Right, you're right. So it even shows he knows the anatomy.
Right.
Because you don't have Google at this time yet.
Nah, you just had to know what that meant.
That's crazy.
I'm the Mac, so I don't need a Mac. I'm a Mac. I'm the Mac, so I don't need a tote a Mac. So the reference to the Mac 10.
Yeah, the Mac 9 or whatever 10.
Yeah. My attack is purely mental, and its nature's not hate. It's meant to wake you up out of your brainwashed state. The gentleman is knowledge of self personified.
See, I like how he did that. He said purely mental. It meant to. I like how he put that together like that. That was hard.
That was sick.
Stagnant nonsense for you if you persist. You'll get your snot box bust. You press up on this.
Punching your nose.
Yeah.
I flip, hose dip, none of this real skip. You don't know enough math to count the mics that I've ripped.
Ooh.
Another iconic bar on the mic.
The
as
mic,
well.
yep.
Peep the dirty rotten scamp as his verbal's weapons spit.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. And then even the hook is like legendary, like sick. Uh-oh, heads up, because we're dropping some shit.
Uh-oh,
Yeah.
heads up, because we're dropping some shit.
Yeah, that's a dope.
Hard.
Right there. Verse 2, you want to go for
Yeah,
that one?
yeah, I got you. Real rough and rugged, shine like a gold nugget. Every time I pick up the microphone, I drug it, unplug it on chumps with the gangster babble. Leave your nines at home and bring your skills to the battle. Woo! You're rattling on and ain't saying nothing. That's why you got snuffed when you bumped heads with Dirty Rotten. Have you forgotten? I tap your jaw. I also kick like Kung Fu flicks by Run Shaw. Wow. Made frauds bleed every time I G'd, because I've perfected my drunken style like Sam Seed. Pseudo psychos, I play like Michael Jackson when I'm busting ass and breaking backs in hell like putrefied aroma.
And I like that too because he in this bar, he like splits up the Michael Jackson. So pseudocycles, I play like Michael, and like Michael from Psycho, you know, like that's
Oh, the
Michael-
space between, yeah.
that's dope. And then, but he goes, Jack, son, when I'm busting ass, like he's
Breaking
gonna
backs.
Jack, son,
Yeah.
like he's gonna take you.
Yeah,
son.
Jackson. Yep.
Yeah, that's
Wow.
pretty
When I'm
dope.
busting ass and breaking backs, inhale the putrefied aroma. Breathe too deep, and you'll wind up coma. Toast.
The king.
The king. I'm hard like a fifth of vodka, and bring your click because I'm a hard rock knocker. I got you out on a limb, about to push you off the plank. Let you draw your crons, but your burner shot blanks. Damn. When the East is in the house, you should come equipped. Damn.
That's dope.
Wow.
Heads up, because we're dropping some shit. Verse 3, fly like a jet, sting like a hornet. Knuckleheads get live and set it off if you want it. Dirty, rotten scoundrels is crushing crews, no joke. With styles more fatal than secondhand smoke. Don't provoke the wrath of this rhyme inventor, because I'll blow up spots like the World Trade Center.
There you go.
Ooh.
Album
Come with
cover.
the super trooper on the assault mission. The technique, because I'm the technician.
The text technique.
text
I'm because he's a technician.
Yeah, that's a sick one there. Wishing he'll go away won't help the weapon stop. The skills are shot, because then any idiot can let off the Glock. Hard rocks melt in the clutch of the Sun Toucher. I love that, man, because the Sun Toucher is like a comic book reference to somebody, a character as well, and he's referencing to that. But then saying you're gonna melt in his palm, basically, like how weak we are as an MC.
Yeah.
It's just crazy. You claim you got beef on the streets, so what ya gonna do when the real roll up on you and you don't got your crew? Pull your Glock, but you don't got the heat, or you don't got the heart. You was webbed straight from the start. Bought a tool and didn't learn how to use it. Got lost in Brooklyn, so you had to lose it. Just for fronting, you got that ass whipped. Heads up, 'cause we're dropping some shit. Yeah.
I like how he did that. Each verse, he rhymed it with
To the
shit.
chorus, yeah.
Yep, that's hard. Like, that's such a dope technique of
this,
songwriting.
This complemented with the unique style and the beat by Premier is just
Perfect.
You got to listen to this track. Like, you have to listen to this track.
Perfect.
Because I feel like this one just really makes Jeru stand out.
Like, this is a perfect
Yeah,
song.
it makes him really stand out from the crowd. So this is the one. I mean, man, overall, like, I feel like Jeru is just like you mentioned earlier, like when you mention an MC like him, it's kind of like one of those forgotten gems, I feel like. Definitely an MC who has it all. And he's demonstrated that perfect balance in between like the street grit, but what also the streetwise, conscious, man, I think just all around, he kind of hits all aspects of what you would want in an MC.
Yeah.
Very laid back, kind of similar to Guru in that sense. And then he has DJ Premier just like in the pocket.
And then he's heralded by many as a fantastic MC.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
it's the respect of his peers characteristic. You don't get that a lot with every MC. There's not people that are, a fellow man won't put you over, especially in the rap game, unless you're that nice.
Right.
Facts.
You know?
Right. Yeah. And he's like, I mean, just from watching him in his interviews and all that, this dude is like really about it. Like, this is not a front. Like, that's who he is. That's what you're getting. So that's also dope. Takeaways from this album, from Jeru the Damaja. What can we take away from this?
I was just glad to share it with you guys. You know, we sometimes get lost in the shuffle of just listening to a certain genre not a certain genre, but a certain like style of rap.
Yeah. Yeah.
And, you know, it's always good to get back to the grounded to like what inspired me, because I like hearing that kind of rap. It makes me content because I felt a certain the few personality traits to Jeru style, because I would mention just the wackiest things, even in every like rap off the top, whatever, you know, and it's the stuff that I felt that was unique to me, and it was in a sense my knowledge of self, you know, and that's true authenticity. And then there's no one. He's Jeru's like. There's no one else that it comes as authentic as him. To a certain extent, you feel it. You feel that there's no. This is him 100%. There's no gimmick to it.
None.
Yeah. What do you think?
I mean, this is one of those, like I said, he's a if you know type of MC.
Yeah.
And this is also a if you know type of album. And this is one, I mean, if you got somebody, interested in lyricism, if you got somebody interested in, what was hip hop like, 30 years ago, or, somebody really trying to brush up on their history, this is a joint that can really, put people in the mindset of this is how you used to have to come. You had to be nice. There was no getting by being whack. Like, you just couldn't. You might pop off and get a hit or two, but you couldn't last if you couldn't spit. Like, you got people like Jeru who, lasted as long as he did, even if he didn't have the super, super big hit record. He had a long-term career where he could last and, do what he did and feed his family and all of that stuff because he was authentically himself.
Well
and to me, that's the best part of who he is as an MC.
Yeah, I think, as part of, like, when you look at it in the big picture of hip hop, like, Jeru is very important because he's that character that fits all in between the nicks and crannies of hip hop, like stories and legends. Like, I didn't know Biggie had any bars against him, or that Lauryn Hill was upset with him, or or that the Fugees did a track, referencing basically him.
Yeah.
Like, that's pretty cool to add that now to the part of history of like, oh dang, this is where he fits, like history. Like, he just kind of helped shape that in a way. And then also too, just, seeing like Premier work with him and like, seeing another artist besides Guru work with Premier, and that's what I like. They're the missing puzzle pieces to the big puzzle that like, fit that. So that's sick.
And you don't do a diss about someone unless you're worried about them.
Right. Exactly.
100%. So
Exactly.
it's just like,
exactly. So this album, we recommend to check out this album, Jeru the Damaja.
yes.
Sun Rises in the East, classic. Got to check it out. And like Ali was saying, it's one of those if you know type of albums.
Yeah.
So better gets to knowing.
Yeah, and after this episode, you'll know.
Yep. And then what you also want to know is you want to subscribe to the channel as well.
We're growing, y'all. We are growing.
We've been waiting. This is your call. This is our altar call right now. We need the music.
Pass the plate.
We need the music right now.
Remember you were saying we're like,
we need you guys to come
what'd you
to
say?
the Lord.
He's
To
like,
come to the Lord today.
you said we're nonprofit. Like,
yeah.
we don't make any money. Yeah,
Yeah.
we're definitely nonprofit.
So this is that calling card for all you who've been waiting for an invitation.
Ebenezer Tree Alive, institutional Third Rock,
In the
side of the road, Mount Calvary.
Yeah. All right. So, of course, make sure you guys do like and subscribe. Make sure you comment. Leave us a suggestion if you guys wanted to cover somebody.
And if you
us know.
guys have anything negative to say, don't ask. No questions.
Just give the money.
Yeah.
All right. So, Mark, let them have it, man.
To the MCs, if you drop a mic, drop a like. Peace. To all you dirty, rotten scoundrels. This explosion was used to make that effect in the
Yeah,
Jeru
basically.
the Damaja album.
Peace.
All right. Peace out.